All right, welcome back to TechniqueWOD. Every side, bye to Mike. He's leaving. Bye, Mike.
Hey, bye, Mike.
Today, we are doing kind of like part 2 of the last episode where we went over glute activation exercises. Today, me and Chris are going to go over...
Got a lot of activating to do.
That's your glutes. He has lots of glutes. We're going to go over activation for, I'll say your glute medius, but really there's probably a whole lot of other muscles that are contributing to this. Your glute medius and all of your hip external rotators are kind of on the outside of your hip here. Certainly your glute contributes to that, and you have some deeper muscles. They call them your deep 6 external rotators. We're going to do some activation drills for those muscles. And the reason we're going to do that is if you're squatting, as you know, a common error when you're squatting is for your knees to dive in, and that's incorrect. Whoa. You don't want to do that. We want to always pull our knees out, and the muscles that pull our knees out are the muscles that I just mentioned. So if they are not strong enough, then more than likely you're going to end up with some type of knee problem, because when your knees dive in, you can see his knee here is twisting. If his upper leg is going that way and his lower leg is going that way, the same direction that his foot is going, then his knee is no longer simply bending, it's twisting at the same time. And oftentimes when you're twisting your knee, you're tearing on all the structures that are holding your knee together, like your medial meniscus, kind of the cartilage on the inside of your knee, along with your ACL and the other ligaments in your knee. But ACL specifically is probably the one that gets torn the most when your knee dives in. You see that very common in field sports, like if you're playing a basketball game or something, like if Chris went to cut and he stepped here and his knee went in, that's when people tear their ACL when they're playing soccer or basketball or volleyball or anything, any field sport or court sport. If your knees dive towards each other, or even if it's just one knee at a time, that's generally when those ACL tears happen. So today what we want to do is expand on the last episode and talk about activation exercises we're just going to single out the glute medius today just for the purpose of conversation, but keep in mind it's not just one muscle we're working, it's a whole group of muscles, okay? First exercise, if we grab a band, you might have seen this before, we're going to do just a normal X-band walk. So Chris is going to take the band. You could use a slightly bigger band than this if you want to. He's going to step on it,
Just
put it between his feet.
Oh, like so? Like, wait, we might do this. I'll put my feet like this?
Like that.
Okay.
No, not like that.
No, I mean, just maybe we do this again. I'll just...
Sorry.
That's perfect.
Like,
Sorry, step on it like this. Maybe we call these different things, and then you cross it over like that, and then you just can do like a step to the side. I call these X-band walks. What do y'all call them?
well, see, usually I just do them by putting the band around and it's going directly out, but that makes a lot of sense.
Right. We're going to do that one as well. All right, so X-band walks, because it's crossed over, that's how I got the name. Look at that.
I'm doing it.
Look at that.
Oh, it feels good, you know?
All right, so quick points of performance here. Generally want your feet straight ahead. And then you're going to try to, with your upper body, not kind of go like this. No side-to-side stuff. You're trying to just stay vertical. That way you're getting
It's not a country slide dance, right?
pure abduction with your hips.
No slide dancing.
All right, so the reason we're doing it like this, I just mentioned before that your knee dives in. The job of these muscles is to pull your knee out, and that's kind of more of a rotation type exercise, because this is internal rotation, this is external rotation at your hip. And in this case, he's not rotating at all, really. He's just kind of stepping straight to the side. He's just making his leg go like this. He's not doing rotation like that. That same muscle is the muscle that does a big portion of that action. That's called hip abduction. So why that's important a lot of times is anytime you're standing on one leg, this muscle is firing to keep you from falling to the inside like that. So this is an easy way to again activate that muscle and kind of get it turned on and help it strengthen if it's not very strong. So even though it's not the exact same movement pattern, it's still an effective way to kind of turn that muscle on in a way. Okay? So that's called an X-band walk. You can throw that into your warm-ups. Again, you can just do 2 or 3 sets of 8 or 10 per leg. You're not trying to go to fatigue or anything like that. You're just trying to do a little bit in your warm-up just to get that muscle to kick on, and it'll be more likely to fire effectively during your training. Another is the one that you already just showed, where you can wrap it around your knees.
Yeah, you just, for
There's many
these,
ways you can do that. Perfect.
Create a loop with the band, go around lower leg. Yeah, then sometimes you can adjust the tension, maybe put a knot here or whatever, or hold it. And I'll just push out and hold. Mm-hmm. In, out.
Yep, so you can do repetitions like that, or you can just do straight up static holds like Chris was showing.
Then,
or yeah, if you want, you can use a slingshot.
Yeah, this is just something that's a little more, same thing, but a little more comfortable. Mark Bell's slingshot. You just toss it around. And you can do that same walking that Doug showed. Boom, boom.
Yep, slingshot's a great
It's much
choice.
more comfortable. Won't grab your leg here. And then here, just pushing out and hold. You can also push out and hold as you do squats with that on. Nifty little device.
Beautiful. Actually, go ahead and keep that on because that's actually the next thing we're going to do.
Cool.
We're on the same page, and we didn't prep before the show. But we're talking about the same stuff. Perfect. So actually, if you step forward where you're not going to hit the bench. So this is called reactive neuromuscular training, and basically what's happening is that band is pulling his knees in, so all the muscles that would try to resist that kind of automatically kick on. So if Chris does a squat with the band pulling out against his knee, he's automatically, without really even trying, he's going to push his knees out against the band.
You don't actively think it's going to pull you in.
Right, and so I like this because it's hard to screw up. If you put a band around someone's knees, they're automatically going to push out against the band without even thinking about it. So there's not much of a learning curve. It just kind of automatically happens. So again, you could do this in your warm-up if you want to. You can just do like a set of 10 air squats with the band around your knees, and the band kind of automatically, again, makes those muscles fire up. If you want to do this during a workout, you still definitely could. You know, if you wanted to do something like a goblet squat where he's just going to grab the horns, like he could do all of his squats during a workout.
Whoa, hit the bench.
You could do a squats during the workout like that. You could probably do a real squat with a barbell like that. It's not very practical, really. I wouldn't necessarily recommend it, but goblet squats I don't think are a big deal.
Maybe your warm-up sets with empty bar, you could do it to kind of prime your form.
Yeah, if you want to just put a band around your knees and kind of walk with your knees out to keep tension on the band where it doesn't fall out, and then get into a front rack position and do some front squats, you certainly could. You know, there's no reason to ever try to do, a super heavy, 80% plus, or probably even over 50% plus, with a band around your knees. But for warming up, definitely something that I think has a lot of value. The other thing that I was going to suggest was doing a farmer's walk, and I kind of demoed this before. Saying that your muscles were here on the side, and when they contract, they kind of pull this piece down to this piece, which keeps you from falling this way. Okay? So if you want to have something that is easier to see rather than just on me, if this is my pelvis and that's my spine, then I kind of have my leg that sticks out kind of like that, on both sides. Okay? And the muscle kind of runs. If I get a different color. That muscle is going to kind of run kind of like right there. So if I pick this leg up off the ground and it's no longer there, then my hip's going to want to drop down. And when this muscle contracts, it keeps my hip from dropping down by pulling this side together. So this here, the green muscle here, would be me on this side, if that makes any sense. Okay? So by loading myself in a single leg stance, like you would do when you're doing a yoke walk or a farmer's walk, where I just have heavy weight in my hands or on my back, every time I take a step and I pick up one leg as I transition from foot to foot, I'm in single leg stance, and this muscle has to fire really, really hard to keep my hip from dropping on the opposite side. Okay? So obviously that's something you can do carrying kettlebells. If Chris just grabs 2 kettlebells, you can do this as a part of your warm-up, just with relatively light kettlebells, and just go for a walk, down the street and back. And again, that's one more way to get some amount of activation for your hip, extensors, external rotators, and abductors, which are all the muscles that are kind of here on the side of your hip. Okay. So, quick review: we had X-band walks. We had putting the slingshot around your knees, where you could just hold, or you could do reps. The only point I'd make about the reps that we didn't mention before is you don't want to do reps where you're practicing getting into this terrible position. If you're going to do it like that, at a minimum, I would put my foot off the ground like that. That way, in this case, I'm not actually twisting my knee. Okay, I'm only twisting my knee if my foot stays out and my knee goes in. Now I'm twisted. But if I go like that, now everything's actually still in perfect straight alignment. I'm not twisting my knee in this case. I'm just internally rotating and externally rotating my hip against resistance. So I get the work in my hip without putting any stress on my knee. Okay? And then we also did the reactive neuromuscular training, where we put the band around our knees and just did our same air squats that we always do. And then we did the farmer's walk, carrying a dumbbell, kettlebell, dumbbell or kettlebell rather, in each hand. Beautiful?
You do that, your glutes are going to be fantastic.
True story. All right, if you want more videos like this, you can go to TechniqueWOD.com. That'll basically forward you to barbellshrug.com, the same place that if you click the TechniqueWOD tab at the top of the page, and that has all the rest of our TechniqueWOD videos there on the site. We'll see you another day.
Join the conversation every week after the episode over at barbellshrug.com. This is also where you'll find new episodes of Barbell Shrugged, TechniqueWOD, Nuggets and Pearls, Barbell Business, Get Change, plus new articles every day on our daily blog, written by us, guests of the show, and some of the biggest names in strength and conditioning. So, go there and leave a comment now. Oh my gosh, wow, that's so cool. Yay, that's so awesome.
Did you like this video? If so, subscribe to our channel and share this with your friends.
And if you want even more free, awesome resources to help you reach your fitness goals, plus some updates that we only share over email, head over to barbellshrug.com and sign up for the newsletter.